It's really easy to be positive and inspirational when things are going really good in your life. It's really easy for me to try to pick up one of my teammates when I went 4 for 4 one day. You know what I mean? It's that much harder. And I think that goes back to like, hey, God is challenging you in these moments.
We're joined by Bryson Webb, a Division I baseball player at Central Michigan, a content creator, and a man of faith. Faith so strong that you have tattooed on your arm, John chapter 13, verse 7. Why is that quote so important to you?
Yeah, it's so funny. I actually got this question at one of my recent Bible studies, but I got it the summer of my freshman year, right around the time I started creating content. And at that time, I don't think it really meant or really knew what it meant back then, as opposed to how I look at it now. Like my redshirt in my freshman year, and I really wanted to play right away. So I think that added a lot to the reason of why I got it. I didn't go to church a lot my freshman year or anything like that. So fast forward now, up until this year and this past summer, when I really, really, really started to get back in. So like reading my Bible, going to church, going to Bible study multiple times a week. It's really kind of changed my perspective on it. It's like my whole thing was it's God's plan over my plan. And like while that stands true, I think I thought back then God's plan was like all good and all like he knew everything was just gonna be good for me. And I've learned that the more I've committed to my faith, the more I realize like a life guided by God and living by God's design is a lot harder than people kind of give it credit for. It's like you can study, you can go to church, you can get baptized, but like those are only the beginning of a lot of great things. And I think God will challenge you throughout your life. And that challenge was my redshirt freshman year and going and playing through my first couple seasons. We had our ups and downs, but remaining faithful, trusting him always, and always just kind of having active conversations with him is kind of what it's evolved to be for me.
Yeah, and part of your good deed and giving back to others, I saw you gave a speech to an 11-year-old team. I love your analogy. You refer to baseball as a book. Every inning is a new chapter. Every out is a new page. Everything you say to yourself in between is a new word.
I like that a lot because I think it also kind of acknowledges the fact that baseball's a really long game. Like books they take a while to read, and like committing yourself to what you do in between every pitch. For me, I've said it before, but I really try to have an active conversation, whether that's like just prayer or anything like that, like talking to myself and talking to God while I'm playing, just because one, it helps you calm me down. Baseball is not a game where you can just be amped up the whole time. Like you be able to conserve and reserve that energy for 9 whole innings and sometimes longer. But I think that just taking it one pitch at a time, not letting what happened or what could happen impact your mentality, anything like that. And I tried to like kind of help dumb it down a little bit because I knew the audience I was kind of talking to there.
So in the book that is Bryson's career so far, take us to the biggest high pressure moment you've had in your career.
I would say one that immediately comes to mind, the biggest high pressure, was down my sophomore year on road trip where we played Dallas Baptist and Oklahoma State, two very successful college baseball programs. And like I like to say this is like my biggest flex. I was playing like really well to start the season, and so I was leading off to open the series against Dallas Baptist and like playing in front of thousands of people, Friday night lights, that type of energy. And I was leading off against their ace. His name was Ryan Johnson, who's currently a relief pitcher for the Angels. And I mean, he's about as good as stuff as you can get, like fastball run upper nines, like disgusting off speed stuff. So in the moment, it was really hard to like center myself, but like that was really cool because like everyone was excited to play, like, and then I let off the game, hit a double. So I think that was kind of living up to the hype of whatever we wanted to do as a team. But that is probably the first thing that comes to mind for like a high pressure moment.
Yeah, if you remember, what did you do to get yourself locked in for that moment?
Honestly, it was centering myself and like just kind of remind myself to be where my feet are. Like I like accepted the fact that everybody that I would face on this trip and everyone I face at this level is going to be good. And I think like it's the same thing going back to my faith. Like everyone says like fear God, but like that fear is not like I'm scared. It's like it's a respect thing, in my opinion. Like you respect God so much that you put all your love, trust in him. Like I knew that Ryan Johnson and everybody else that we'd face that year would be very good just because, I mean, everyone worked just as hard to get to the level that they were at. Less than 2% of high school athletes play at the Division I level, which is crazy to think about. It was just a respect thing. I know I'm good. I know that he was really good. And I think just trying to slow the game down, slow my heart rate down. We do a lot of breathing. Like I was trying to just breathe through my nose, just so I can kind of help slow my blood pressure, slow my heart rate, and I knew what I was looking for in that moment.
On the opposite side of the equation, what's the biggest lie or negative self-talk that still creeps into your mind? And what do you do to silence it?
I think I get caught in like this why, the why trap. The reason I call it that is because it's easy to let things kind of spiral, and especially in a game of failure. Like you kind of get to a point you're like, why isn't this working? Like, why is this stuff like you could hit a frozen rope right at the shortstop, 108 miles per hour, it gets caught. You get caught in like, bro, why? Like, why did I have to hit it there? But it's the ball like 108 miles an hour. So, um, that Y trap is really dangerous because as soon as you start to like optimize yourself as an athlete, especially in baseball, things really good start to go downhill. And I think one thing I really try to pride myself on, it's a maturity thing, honestly. That's why baseball is such a mental sport, but is being so process oriented. And that's something that's really helped me this fall and like my attitude and stuff like that. Cause my entire attitude used to be dictated around how I hit a little white ball. And sometimes it still is. Like I still fall, like I succumb to that like Y trap. I think looking at it from a big picture, like, hey, I may have been 0 for 3, but I did get on base twice. I had a stolen base and I scored a run. That's productive in my opinion.
Why is the most dangerous word in the English language? It can be really powerful if you need motivation and reason behind what you're doing. And exactly what you're saying, it can be very dangerous when you fall into that trap of why. So, sharing your faith, day in the life, get ready with me, breaking in a glove, workouts, hitting routines, taping your bat, taking ground balls, reacting to live at bats, all of this awesome stuff that you are sharing. What's the inspiration behind it?
Man, I think a lot of it is just based on the life that I live. My brother described it really well. He was like, you look like there's no reason to fake anything. Like I live a life that people are very interested in. When athletes are held on like a higher pedestal, I think, than any other college or sometimes even pro athletes, especially with the introduction of NIL. These college athletes are getting paid like pro athletes now. We're on a different level for sure, and being authentic and honest in everything I do, and it can be as simple as taping my bat. Like that is the stuff that I think it's so. That's why I think social media is so funny because I can just do the simplest thing that can like take off and I can put a lot of effort into something and it not do so well. Like that's the social media algorithm is so confusing. But I think I have found a pattern where it is consistent, yet I offer a diverse array of content that I can just show what I do and I can also explain in certain aspects of why I do things. So I think that's what I love about what I do is because I can do so many different things that just correlate back to playing Division One baseball, which is, I mean, baseball has been a passion of mine since day one. So being able to share that to over 130,000 people across platforms is one of the coolest feelings ever.
Hey, quick pause. If this conversation is providing you value, please take literally 5 seconds and hit that follow or subscribe button on your app. This is the best way to make sure that you don't miss any value from future episodes. Now back to the conversation. And you're impacting a lot of people in a positive way. Does the pressure to be motivational or positive or inspirational ever make your own internal struggles harder to deal with?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like I said, it's really easy to be positive and inspirational when things are going really good in your life. It's really easy for me to try to pick up one of my teammates when I went 4 for 4 one day. You know what I mean? It's that much harder, and I think that goes back to like, hey, God is challenging you in these moments because at the end of the day, he is the most powerful being there ever was, and he created life in itself. And so, like, he is challenging us to deal with something as simple as going 0 for 4 in a game. And like, it sounds simple on the surface of it, especially when your life is so heavily surrounded by the game that you play. It can take a toll, and being able to be the same person, the same godly person that I would desire to be every single day through the ups and downs is a challenge, but like so incredibly worth it. And I think looking back on it, it makes me feel so much joy knowing that like God chose me just like he chooses everyone else. Like we have free will and we can use that free will however we want. And obviously he wants us to choose it to live a life guided by him. Having that focus, especially in baseball, I think I found ever important just because of how cruel this game can be.
Yeah, the game and your faith and your social life and all of the other aspects that make you who you are, there's still the element of technology and our phones and social media begging for our attention in so many different ways. So how does Bryson deal with those potential distractions?
I think it's easy to stress out over it because, again, I built a lot of my life in college on social media. And so I love to look back and see like how I've grown because I've changed a lot. Comments and DMs, especially on the negative side, it's really easy to let that kind of consume you. But people can choose whether they like me or not. But I value my faith and my those that are closest to me. I value their opinions more than anything, like my family and friends, and staying grounded. And if things get hard, using them as an outlet, using prayer as an outlet, using the Bible as an outlet, just to kind of escape that hole. Because it used to bother me a lot, especially when I would post the simplest videos like double cellies or like me doing infield drills like in an airport. There are a lot of negative things you see from that stuff. Like even the outside of social media, like things just people say to me on the baseball field. You'd be surprised the bounds people go to try to get under your skin. And I'll admit it, it's gotten to me from time to time where I've needed to like exit the dugout or and like go into our locker room and just like scream or just like I don't know, like borderline crash outs. And that again, trying to go back to like centering myself around God, breathing, all that stuff. Again, a lot easier said than done, but it's just a challenge that's getting thrown my way.
You think your faith and your breath work are the two best tools to reset yourself, either for the next play or the next inning or the next game or the next day?
Yeah, 100%. And I think they go hand in hand because before I read or before I pray, I just take a couple seconds to breathe because again, it can be really easy to just try to like get in, get it done, get out. Spending that time in prayer, spending that time in the batting cages, that's not something, it shouldn't feel like a chore. I'm blessed to be able to do both of those things and to be able to combine them in various moments of my day. Like I should feel lucky to do that. And again, it's easy to let things speed up when things seem to be going wrong all day, but being able to center yourself around like the peace and joy that I can remind myself on in these moments really helps me.
You share another Bible verse that says, similarly, anyone who competes as an athlete does not receive the victor's crown except by competing according to the rules. Second Timothy chapter 2, verse 5.
That's so funny. God works in crazy ways. I talked about this verse last night in Bible study in our FCA group. God calls you to listen to, obey, and share his word. And so that is what it means to compete by the rules. We all have free will, especially in baseball. We can break the rules whenever we want. We can pitchers can balk. We can swing at a pitch out of the zone. Like those are things we like shouldn't be doing, but we do them sometimes just because we're human. And I think for me, like God does call us to listen, understand, obey, and share His word, so that we can create other followers and disciples of Christ. And I think that is what our goal should be every single day. And that's what I've really tried to start to use my platform for, because it's what God calls me to do, and I feel obligated to do so, just because my faith has become so important to me. And like, I love the whole idea of like God's design, the way he designed the world, the way he designed us, and the way he intends us to live. And that's something I'm just constantly reminding myself of. It's something I constantly go back to when I'm taking notes in the Bible. It's something I constantly remind myself of when I'm on the field.
Yeah, there's this quote that says, what's easy to do is easy not to do. What do you know now that you wish you knew before you started college baseball?
I wish I went to church more. No, seriously. I think where I'm at right now in my faith, obviously still a ton of room to grow. I'm not saying I've done it. I've done it all because I haven't. Like I've barely scratched the surface, I feel. But looking back, if I were to say something to my freshman self, it's that like you need to one, surround yourself with the right people, but also prioritize the right things. When you go from high school to college, it's really easy to like smell that freedom and just think you like you rule the world and can do anything. Staying grounded in your values, I completely lost that in my freshman year though. That was like going out, drinking, all that stuff that was just completely aside from what I was meant to be doing. And redshirting probably had something to do with that. Like redshirted and I didn't handle it the best. Like what I thought it was just a year I got the goof off. And simply that just wasn't the case. I wish I would have used it a little bit better to find that routine and get better every single day that I was here. So looking back, I wish I would have found my faith a little bit sooner. But again, I can woulda, shoulda, coulda all day long.
This idea of simple wins is not only this scoreboard. What do you consider simple wins in your life?
Going back to like a process oriented view, like it's so easy to have a glass half empty mentality. And in baseball, where failure is so abundant, like being able to look at certain things as a win as opposed to a loss, or like a should have done this or I could have had this like opportunity is extremely important. Like you get a ground ball to turn a double play, you get the first out, but then you throw the other one in the dirt. You still got an out. Obviously, it would have been awesome to get that double play, get momentum going, but being able to take that win, like, hey, we got 2 outs now, move on and get this last one. you get another ground ball, like you can't let that bad thing resonate with you. So taking wins as they come, like God blesses us in so many different and special ways. And I think being able to have that perspective in everything we do. If I get a B on a quiz in a class, I have taken that all day. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that's what simple wins means to me.
Bryson, you're extremely impressive, all around physically. You're jacked, you're shredded. I see you doing backflips like Ozzie Smith on social media. Mentally dealing with people probably throwing hate your way for no reason except their own insecurities. Being a Division I athlete, managing your time, creating content, the recurring theme of being a man of faith. You're extremely impressive. Where can people find you?
At J Bryson Webb, all one word, no caps, on every social media platform. I try to post every day, and I hope that whatever I post, people can resonate with. But I try to kind of leave a little message in everything I'm doing.
Extremely impressive. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much.
I have one final question for you. Who else would benefit from listening to this conversation? If you have someone in mind, go ahead and share the episode with them right now. If you don't think of anyone immediately, go ahead and leave us a review on whatever platform you're on so people just like you can find the episode. Thank you for your time. Stay strong.